everybody, and welcome to the Speed Gaming Weekly Race of the Final Fantasy Randomizer. I'm Kurant, and I'm joined on the mic by Magius. Magius, how are you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right. Well, we have ourselves a crop of really good runners. No worries. We got ourselves a Life Reboot, Groggy Dog, Psytown, and Rob Draven on stream. We have a handful of others off stream. We are about to drop the gate on this randomizer, and we are about ready to go. So let's go ahead and get this going here, and we shall have ourselves.
I mean, it's going to be a good one. No free ship. Personally, I wish the update would come so we can finally get the separation for extended open progression again. It'll be interesting. Forced at least one melee class and one magic class, if I recall correctly, for the first two slots. So I believe they both rolled fighter and white mage, so that's why you see a lot of the rainbow comp.
Oh yes, we very much have. You see the strategies on stream. A lot of people taking white and black mages, and then 2 fighter thieves and 2 fighter red mages. So we have ourselves, relatively similar party comps, and we'll see how they play out across this seed that is going to be essentially similar to what we're going to look at for the Duckling Derby Day 4, which will be our 4th and final day of the tournament on Saturday. All right.
And we're off.
Underway. And we see, decent selection in the weapon shop. Black Magic has Rub at level 1.
Rub and Lock are probably the two you'd want to go there. And, did I see a heal 3? Yes, I did.
You did
Along
indeed.
With Pure.
Yeah.
Those are the standout cells for the White Magic shop.
Yeah. Absolutely. So definitely very good healing on the white mage's side. I'm sure all parties are glad that they took a white mage, at least at this point. And we have ourselves the vendor item already in Canaria with the key.
And I believe Corneria Locked is a key. It's an incentive location, so we'll be seeing that key bought really soon.
Oh yes, absolutely. And go ahead and get potentially 3 key items right out the gate. So it's going to be a pretty big deal. We'll see if there's enough money in Temple of Fiends to supply it, or do you think we might maybe see a little bit of, maybe not money grinding here, but a little bit of money grinding perhaps to try to get that key early?
More than likely.
All right, so virtually everybody is in the Temple of Fiends now, and looks like Life Reboot unfortunately didn't pick up a pure potion, so they will be able to use the one that they found right there. So
gotta love when you find what you need.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ooh, Opal already!
Oh wow, Opal bracelet. That's a great thing to find early on. Holy crap. That's pretty much custom made for one of the 2 to 3 mages in their party.
Although, here's a good question. Do you, since you know how the key is present, I did not catch its price, but do you see if selling that plus a few of the other items might give you that, and then immediately go check Corneria Lock to see how important it is? Not saving, of course,
possibly. But the key was a little over 1,100 gold, so that's well within if you find a, say, especially for the parties without a thief, if a katana had, then yeah, you absolutely sell it immediately. Opal bracelet, considering that there are 2 to 3 mages in each party, I would probably hang on to it myself.
Well,
because
we found a canal.
Alrighty, well, everybody.
Why? Why, game? Why?
All right, so a little bit of background on this. Folks in the SRL chat were a little aghast at the fact that there was no free ship for this seed. Well, that just got taken care of.
I mean, I can't wait. As I said, I can't wait for the updates to come from alpha site to the beta site, and then into a regular site, finally separating extended open progression for early alpha, aka the tile that's named after me, and the Rubicon Desert dock. Because I think honestly, once those are finally separated on the main site, you're going to see a lot more seeds where the ship is. Hopefully, you all caught that.
Yeah, well, we caught most of it. We have Provoking Magic, we have Fade at level 2 for the White Mage, and we had Ice 2 at level 2 for the Black Mage. So, good news for the White Magic runners, definitely, which is everybody.
Yep, Forced White Mage means Forced Fade.
Well,
which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah, well, it's not a bad thing when it pops up at level 2, so that's definitely... And that's also good news for those fighters, too, because assuming they promote to Knight, level 2 means they are guaranteed to be able to grab it. So that's good news in a lot of ways.
They'll have, at very minimum, 3 sources of Fade.
Yeah.
And I am a huge fan of saying, if you have a Knight and Fade is learnable, learn Fade.
Oh,
you never know
absolutely.
if not you're going to be able to have to dish through some damage if your Knight's been slowed or anything like that. Just like quickly throw it out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bicky had the Oxyale hiding in his pockets somewhere, so we've got ourselves another key item.
Not just that, but I'm assuming open progression is on, so they now have access to Sea Shrine.
Yeah, yes, open progression is on, and I wonder, now it looks like just about everybody's got enough money to go ahead and grab the key, and it looks as though the majority of the runners are going ahead and hanging on to that money by and large. So I think we'll be seeing the contents of Canaria locked very, very soon.
More than likely, considering that Corneria Locked will have 6 items, guaranteed key item if I recall, and it'll have some good stuff more than likely. I mean, it's blocked behind a key item, you'll have a chance of getting some stuff. No Titans tonight if I recall, so this will be good to see.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So we have everybody sort of making their way around the world at the point. At this point, just sort of your normal activities at the beginning. We have, let's see, there we go. Sorry, my restream was having a little bit of trouble catching up. A couple of runners heading over to Matoya's cave.
Apparently nothing good in Matoya as Sci-Town resets out of it, so I'm assuming nothing good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's obviously not a high-risk check early on because you can save outside and then sail over there, see if those treasure chests have anything. If they do,
we've
great.
Got a check of Corneria, over 7k, about 12k in the first room, 6 Ingot Chains, an Iron Gauntlet, and the Chime!
Oh,
Dungeon diving per day!
I was gonna say, it's not quite everything that Team Sky wants, but it's certainly the first part of that equation. You can get a lot of those box checks fairly early if you want to risk it.
And as Squigglypuff is pointing out in the chat, we have the key. We have access to Locked Marsh.
We do, yes. And he's rooting for the loot being in Key Locked Marsh, which is something of a terrifying prospect. Oh well, say that. Alright, so
go ahead. Good
I was going to say, up to this point, pretty much the runners are mostly all doing the same things, but now that we have a couple of possibilities, we've got Chime opening into Mirage, we may see a little bit of divergence depending on how brave our runners are tonight.
I'd say, considering what's available, you might see this guy play. We literally have access to 3 of the 4 Fiend dungeons right now. We can't clear alongside Harm 4, Fog 2, Cure 3, and Extra. Actually, a decent lineup for level 3 white magic.
Yeah, absolutely. The Harm 4 I feel like is a little underrated, but especially if you do decide you're going to play around in Marsh, or if you, especially going into places like Marsh or Ice Cave, Harm 4 can do a lot of good with relatively little risk or investment at a level 3.
Also, let's see, Heal 2, AI, Life! At level
Yeah.
At slot 4 there, so I believe it's promotion locked, if not locked out entirely for red mages, but there's Quack, Ice, Slow, and Stun.
So, not the greatest lineup ever for your black mages there, but they still got a decent bit. That fade at level 2 for the white mage is looking increasingly good because our high capacity black magic spells haven't really been found yet. So that fade is going to, I think, have increasing importance. And I noticed Life Reboot checking the keylock chests in Temple of Fiends, which is a pretty bold step, or not bold step early on, but a step that not a lot of other runners would take. So it would be interesting to see if that pans out.
Plus, we also do have 2 loose items tonight.
Yes.
Also, I might add that despite everything on that one, Harm 4, you are right that it is very underrated. I'm pretty sure a lot of our ducklings will remember how important Harm 4 can be.
Well, hey, that's part of the whole process. I mean, we have to take our lumps with all the fiends that want to literally crucify. So, Life Reboot getting a Sun Sword out of there, which is really good for the fighter early on, and will serve them well until they get an Excalibur Mass Immunity.
Vorpal. Always useful as well, remember that.
Or Vorpal. Although, you would prefer Excalibur or Masamune, Vorpal definitely has its uses. Alright, so Groggy Dog making their way over to Crescent Lake, and looks like Rob Draven is going to check out Earth Cave and see, well, maybe treasure dive. Looks like they're treasure diving right now.
Probably on team, check the first 4 chests as well as checking the trap tiles.
Right. Yeah, Groggy Dog looking at both of the magics, and I think I saw Bane at level 6 in Black Magic. And Groggy is getting to meet the confused old men.
One of the old standby flags that doesn't get as much... Oh god. The Canoe. Vanilla. Is this even randomized?
Oh dear. Well, the confused old men weren't confused about too much, I guess, because they gave away the right item.
Oh, also apparently Lock 2 was at spell slot 3 as well, but... Yeah, Confused Old Men. It's one of those flags. It's not seen as much, but back in the day, and I can't believe I'm saying it that way, but it used to be the standard of, like, okay, we're going to have this checked all the time for the fun. And I hope to see that back soon as well.
Well, I could definitely see that being a nice little addition to the different flags and whatnot. So, kind of adds a little bit of humor to the game. And as much as we're running around trying to win and all that jazz, you need to infuse a little bit of humor here.
Oh, too true. I'm a huge fan of, with Free Enterprise, other stuff like that. Them adding in, the few small touches here and there, trust me, I've literally for ages suggested, and there is despite yet for their faults there, but I've suggested that for trash seeds, either have a trash can or the poo emote as a thing for the final boss, just for the fact that the runners can enjoy the fact that, this...
I've always liked seeing those nice little humorous touches, whether it is, and you mentioned Free Enterprise, or really any other game where you can randomize content. It's good to see the developers, folks who add stuff in, have a nice little sense of humor. It's great to see generally.
I mean, I personally like seeing it, and I think chat, I'll ask you guys as well. Do you like seeing some of the small touches that all the excellent devs of all the randomizers love throwing in there for the humor and stuff like that? So let's see. Looks like Life Reboot is checking out Northwest Castle. Probably hoping to find a trap tile grind with that fade.
Oh yeah, if you can, especially with a good fade, or whether it's fade, nuke, or any good big damage dealing spell, if you're able to find a good grind tile and be able to just get up to, say, mid-teens at this point, you can pretty much do whatever you like, at least in the early.
Also, we found a Pro Cape, which is nice, and some Imps and Grimps.
Well, unfortunately, not good enough to hang on to for Life Reboot as they go ahead and zip on out. Take a little bit, I guess, make their way out into the canal area if they ever get themselves on the good encounter.
Looks like they are in Sighttown and Dwarves. So we might see a Dwarf check, depending on slideshows.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like Sighttown's connection's unfortunately, a little rough right now. But they are doing the keylock chest, which is obviously pretty smart play while you're that. So, and chat getting a little touched up about blazing gray wolves or gur wolves, which you hate to see something that big on a monster that you're going to encounter fairly often in the early going.
I can at least say Sighttown probably found something good in. Wait, Groggy found a Pedia tile? Okay, that's a grind tile.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to start things. It'll take them into the teens, which is nice to see, as Rob Draven is also heading into the Dwarf Cave and is going to go ahead and give a preemptive hooray.
Also, let's see. Nuke at level 5.
That'll be a little.
I missed
runners get a lot of charges. Nice to see, anyway.
I missed what was at level 5 white magic, but now I see why Sighttown didn't reset out. Opal armor and a ribbon.
And about $30,000. So all of that's good news.
Oh, most definitely. And Arcleo's over on Groggy's side. But they are hitting hard.
Oh, goodness, they are, yeah.
And it looks like Groggy is opting out of the volcano, or no... Nope. Just going for the encounter table, I'm assuming.
Yeah, it looks like it's not a terribly kind encounter table off the hard reset on this one, because you saw that issue with Life Reboot trying to reset several times, and so Groggy Dog also resetting a few times before going in and pillaging things. Yeah, the initial encounter table seems to be kind of rough tonight.
Sadly, it happens, but looks like Groggy opting to take some extra levels. I honestly, as you and I have both said, that's a good fight to go grind. That's a great fight to grind.
Yeah. It looks like also Sighttown is going into Temple of Fiends and checking those key locks from what we...
Also, looks like our tracker, Jat, shoutouts to them, pointing out, it's looking like you gotta burn 4 encounters before being able to do anything on that one.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad, as long as it's not one of those, like, you have to walk a bit before burning off each encounter.
Yeah. Life Reboot finding...
Can be annoying. Now...
looks like Life Reboot's found some blue Ds to try to go after, but unfortunately they look very ambush happy, so it's not looking terribly great for Life Reboot to be able to really grind them, but, well, LR sure is trying, that's for darn certain. Going through that encounter table like it's nobody's business.
I mean, it's not that bad of a fight. Also, actually getting in early on that one. So getting some fade, getting some ice too. They're hitting, but not as hard hitting on that one. Although, sadly, yikes. Will that white mates? Nope.
Yeah, the fight seems to be very
it's good
dependent on
experience
having
if Life Reboot can get it down.
Yeah, it seems to be very dependent on good turn order, and damage roll. And first time they had gotten good rolls on Fade, but not good turn order, and then the second try they just didn't get good much of it.
True that, but looks like getting two of them, as long as that fighter can stay alive. I think they've got the. Yep, they should be able to get it done. At least.
Looks like. Yep, good turn order on this one. Looks like it will. Uh-oh.
Two of the party members will be able to. And let's see, will the mages? Yep, the mages at least get some levels. Ooh, and Cure 4 at level 5! We completely missed that one. But third slot, though.
Very good to have the white mage. Well, I was going to say, obviously, with all the parties having a white mage, that still means that is very much available. And Life Reboot trying to get the heck out of Dodge with those levels, and obviously, no blame on that whatsoever.
I mean, they do also have access to life, so that does help. And with the actual damage rules the way they are, I mean, it's not that bad of a fight. Provided you just get them down. I don't know about Zukarat, but I'm a fan in those type of situations. If I've got a red mage, I'm a fan of using that one, but looks like Life Reboot opted for a couple of black mages, I think.
Yeah, well...
Oh no, Thief.
Life Reboot, yeah, Fighter Thief. So, you got 2 spellcasters and 2 physical, just as did Saitan.
Oh, so there we go. There we go. Now I see why Life Reboot was doing it. He wanted nuke. He wanted charges of nuke.
Oh yeah, I mean, he had brought along a few houses to help expedite the magic grind, which is definitely understandable. And it has paid off pretty well, because after being able to get that first victory in, that of course makes it a lot easier for the rest of them. So it's really just a question of good momentum at this point. And because of that, Life Reboot's probably going to be able to go into some of these other dungeons and have a pretty good advantage as far as trying to push through. As we see Groggy Dog making their way through Volcano, and Rob Draven making their way through Earth. So we've got runners going in a variety of different places at this point.
Oh god. I could see that one coming, sadly. Ew.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but as long as LR, I think, is stepping out every time they're getting levels and saving, so they're not losing as much with those deaths, but it still hurts.
Ooh, and on Groggy's side, finding a flame shield. I mean, having an actual encounter where you can actually just, get through stuff and having something where you can actually get down, pick up spell levels, and some quick EXP for the fighter, and it looks like they're now going down to a Fade and a nuke. That's pretty good. Not the best end-all be-all, but at the same point, it is going to be good enough to actually help with some of the early game and mid-game.
Yeah. It really just depends on how able you are to be able to get those spells across. As Jat's pointing out in chat, for the low teen grinds, the P because they don't hit nearly as hard.
Oh, hey, Karat.
Mm-hmm.
You found everybody's knife. You found everybody's favorite knife.
Yep. So, well, everybody who's a fan of the Vorpal Sword, I guess, your time has come. So, enjoy it sitting in inventories at least for now. Although,
it looks like Groggy reset out of it.
Groggy got smashed out by the ankle.
Ouch. Those are tough.
Yeah, that grind towel was not very kind to.
But at least we do have access to an endgame item. And for those wondering why the Vorpal, despite having less attack, is stupidly good, its temper can get you through as long as you can, lots of tempers because it's got a crit chance of like, what, 60 if I recall the old table?
Yeah, the Vorpal's benefit is a really high critical rate. So that helps to make up for that lack of just raw power that you would see, say, from the Masamune.
I mean, crits do get extra damage. They go through everything else like that. And when you have something insanely high, I mean, depending on the party, it can seriously get you through.
Yeah, absolutely. And there will be people who will advocate for using a Vorpal sword above and beyond some of the other big in-game swords. It really just comes down to personal preference in a lot of ways. Depends on what you prioritize as a runner. And as much as we can say, the Masamune is clearly the best sword in the game, it's one of those that there, in some sense, is a right answer, I suppose, but it's not going to be the same answer for everybody, and that's part of what makes a randomizer fun. You can have runners with different approaches, and they can end up doing things differently and achieving some of the same results. They can beat up fiends, they can beat chaos and save the world, and do so a little bit differently than everybody else, perhaps.
Hey, Grok.
Yeah?
We just found the black shirt on Groggy's side.
Yeah,
also,
there it is.
The main reason why Vorpal, gets a little bit of flack is because, honestly, when they used to have weapons fixes off a bit more, it was a lot better, if I recall correctly, because you got a huge boost to, like, some of the damage output, so it was closer to, like, swing like a katana for any character that could use it, if I recall.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of the things that, admittedly, as a relatively new runner, I'm not as familiar with. Perhaps, you're a lot more veteran at this than I. So it's good to obviously to hear those perspectives. Alright, so looks like Groggy's about to show us what's in the Volcano incentive chest, because Volcano being one of the incentive dungeons for the evening, so we will see what is hiding there.
Frosty's guarding it, and can now pick up. Ooh. Ouch.
Yeah, looks like Groggy's going back to resupply. And life reboots.
And we also have a speed bump fight, real quick.
A pink vampire.
I mean, it's supporting things, and the tail.
Well,
and apparently, it's interrupted, but apparently the Frosties had Death Touch. That's a good reason.
Yeah, I noticed that in chat. Yeah. Definitely causes a little bit of a shift in strategy when they can take you down so quickly. Oh dear. I can't say I would want to confront that myself.
Most definitely. Looks like Life Reboot running from the Wikipedias. EXP Wikipedias.
And Rob Draven's going to walk their tail out of Earth Cave. No pun intended.
I mean, we got some Kareebs, we got some Wikipedias, and we have Sighttown gonna find the Vorpal hopefully soon enough, and also probably gonna find that harsh Frosty tile.
Yeah.
Because apparently that Frosty is giving them some brain freeze.
Yeah. And it's worth noting in the SRL that Dwight Disotell, one of the runners this evening, unfortunately had to step aside from the race. So GG Dwight, thank you for coming in and racing with us, and we're sorry that you had to step away so soon. So definitely appreciate it, though.
Most likely they'll probably finish the seed on their own afterwards. I know there are fans of if you gotta dip out a race, it's finishing up the seed later on because you can. And Froggy doing an ordeal job.
Yeah, it's a pretty, I would say, somewhat bold move at least, given that obviously Groggy had tried to conquer the depths of the volcano and unfortunately had gotten roasted out by the Frosties of all things, given fire. I noticed that a katana actually was items available in the volcano armory. Speaking of, for folks who brought a thief and they're planning on using that, that's a pretty good pickup. It looks like that would benefit Scytown the most because
Groggy finding an Aegis shield somewhere. I did not see where they got that one.
Yeah, I think that was a fairly early pickup because I've seen it in Groggy's inventory for a fair while. And Jack pointing out that was another prize of the Volcano Armory. Well, no surprise there. The Armory giveth plenty. And all.
The Armory also taketh away for the times where we've had to deal with insane grind tiles and other stuff there.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And apparently Zombles, with just the red maze taking round with Fade. Right now, I think Froggy opting for a two-man strap, or a two-person strap, maybe?
That seems like it. I mean, with the fighter and black mage up, I mean, there's not really an option to revive anybody else. I don't know if it's intentional two-man strats, or excuse me, red mage, so never mind. Could get a little revive in there here and there, but I presume it's intentional. I've certainly not questioned Groggy Dog's strategizing. Oh, I didn't realize that guarding the Frost D tile was a red Onkilo tile, so holy mackerel.
Yeah.
Scytown is able to run away from both, and hopefully we'll be able to run away from the third and escape with their crown.
Did not notice it was over looking at Groggy's side on that one to see where Ordeals was leading.
Yeah, well, looks like Scytown is going to go ahead and take on Carrot. So it looks like Scytown's in right around the beginning of the teens level-wise. So we'll see if that's good enough to hand carry tonight. The bosses are not clamped in this seed, so we could see some pretty generous fiends, or we could see some maybe not so generous fiends. We will find out.
Well, 3 hits for 4 damage. That says something as far as a fighter swing goes.
Yeah.
But opting for some temper, some fade, and a swing. Fade comes out, 100 damage. Swing, 2 hits. I could not see the damage. Black start coming out for 22 damage. Throwing another stack of temper on that red mate, on that fighter. Fade coming out again for 100 damage. Ice 2 coming out again for 32. Black start coming out again for 28. Getting hit very hard. The red mate, for the black mage, over 100 damage on the fighter swing. Opting for deal 30 for that white mage. Swing, 3 hits, 176 damage, and looks like Scytown will be our first runner on stream to light an orb at around 32 minutes in.
Alright, meanwhile, Groggy Dog had found a Protect Ring and found some pretty good stuff in Ordeal so far. Hasn't quite hit that finish line yet, but it's just about to. And Groggy Dog finds the loot hiding in Ordeal. No loose loot tonight, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, the mystical, magical, I guess, the Guitar of Destiny for those old school Tenacious D fans.
Alright, Groggy Dog's making their way out of Ordeals, and Rob Draven is invading the depths of Ice Cave, I believe without either warp or exit, so that's going to make things slightly less fun, certainly.
I mean, we've seen a lot of the levels, a lot of the spells levels. I think Warp and Exit have to be in level 7 and 8, respectively. It looks like Groggy is opting to check on rank.
Yeah. And obviously, that's a play that's very much in scope of things, given what we have so far. I noticed Rob making some very good use of the Harm 4 to go after those undead, which is fantastic to see.
Also, it looks like they're going to start with the waterfall and then into the most likely sea shrine. And since they can.
Alright, so Scytown picks up the Crown Turn-In is a little bit of explosives, and Life Reboot is ready to take on Carrie using the Thief as essentially a hit.
Also, Rob Draven found a loose item in the actual ice cave. Finding the adamant right next to the actual, right next to the incentivized chest. That's going to be huge.
Yeah. So it must have been in the left side chest of those three, I presume, because I remember seeing the right side chest and it wasn't too much.
Yep, it was in the left one, so that is actually nice.
Yeah. As Life Reboot, it takes down Carrie, and they light their first orb at about 35 minutes, so the orb hunt is on, and both Scytown and Life Reboot are pretty close on that.
Yep, so we got a couple orbs lit, both two of our on-stream runners, as well as some interesting finds from our other two.
Sure, absolutely. I mean, of course, this is, with so many potential options as far as travel were concerned, you were obviously going to see some divergence, and it's, of course, good to see where those divergences take runners, and we'll see which paths end up working out.
Also, a Gurnaga air tile in the ice cave. Also, a ice sword. And everybody say hi. And thank.
Yep. So Scytown has conquered the bridge boss and is going to turn in that TNT. Rob Draven, unfortunately, doesn't find...
Oh, the floater! The floater!
Oh, dear. Well, it's time to fly.
I mean, considering what you need to get through to get to that, well, that's an ouch! Especially for Groggy, who had to run away from it because of that Bluey tile. Sorry, not Bluey.
Yeah.
Frosty tile.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a bit of a push to get to it, but it's definitely paying off as Scytown is likely going to be the first of our runners in the air. And I wouldn't be surprised, though. I would expect that, say, that the other runners are going to be pretty close on their heels.
Very, very true. And looks like Groggy opting to take down some Gasties.
Yeah.
I mean, makes you wish you had like a pointy stick to just, poke because they're made of gas. Although I would wonder whether or not they would actually allow their party to survive all that gas.
Well, we shall see. Alright, so Scytown hits the air at about 37 minutes, and Rob Draven is about to pick up their incentivized item, as we've got a lot of incentivized checks that are about to happen real fast. Scytown gets the defensive sword from Sarda.
Always a good item. Always a good item.
Absolutely. And Rob Draven gets the bottle. Of course, I will have to ask a question, though. From looking at the trackers, I don't know that I don't know that Scytown got the bottle, and I don't know that Rob Draven got that loose. Oh, I do see the adamant marked. Okay, never mind.
Yes,
So,
and
sorry,
looks like
that's my fault on that one.
Scytown. And it looks like Scytown will be, this is their first trip into Ice Cave. Although I'm surprised none of our runners have, since Scytown has... Oh, no problem. I was gonna say, I'm surprised Scytown didn't check Gaia first. Having, just a quick check in there to see level 7, see if it's got the, see if it's got warp or exit there, just to make the actual, getting out a lot faster. Even if you only get, like, one cast of it, even if it's going to be a little bit, it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, is Rob leaving without checking the key item? Or did they already get it? Oh, they did get it.
The tracker's showing that they already got it. Yeah.
Okay. And looks like Groggy is just about to the waterfall. Well, the robot.
Yeah.
Now, I do know Groggy has mentioned that they are a little rusty tonight, so just hoping they, this is basically going to be one of those de-rust style scenes.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely better to do that in a weekly race like this one, where obviously they're racing on SRL, but there's not any sort of big tournament stakes or anything like that. So it's a fun thing. Just kind of get a little bit of stretching, so to speak, in as far as the run is concerned.
I mean, the old joke is SRL points are...
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like I noticed also on Life Reboot's side that the drop tile in Ice Cave was metal slimes, which with the right, if you had Fire 3 and especially having Nuke cast, that can be some really good levels as well.
Also, we found the slab on Groggy's side. So we...
Are you talking about the robot item?
Nope.
Ah.
Loose item.
Okay,
Loose
so that's
item.
loose. Yeah, because the robot item was the rod. I did see that.
Yep. So let's see. Will Groggy get out of there with both items? Here's the hoping.
Yes, it's definitely going to be a real question in regards to trying to get out of a place like Waterfall without warp or exit, and some pretty angry and hungry monsters wanting to have you for lunch. Alright, so it looks like Rob Draven is making their way over to Volcano, and Groggy is heading out of Waterfall. Meanwhile, our other two runners look like they are both in the depths of Ice Cave. Alright, so Groggy is over in Onrak, just sort of catching up on supplies, which is obviously a great idea at any point in a run. You want to make sure that you're topped off on all that, because you never know when something nasty is going to pop up and you're going to need that sort of thing.
Oh, very true. Very surprised, Groggy. Having the Oxyale didn't pop in and complete, see while they're there.
True. I mean, maybe it could be a question of just levels and comfort with that, because obviously you don't need to be super powerful to take down Kraken in the Sea Shrine, but you need to be able to hold your own, because some of those, especially, say, the lobsters of the world and ghosts that you can find in there, they can hit like Mack trucks, and if your party's not set up well enough, it can be pretty dodgy pretty fast.
Oh, don't forget the seafood party platter.
Oh, of course. Well, lobsters are a part of that, so yeah, it's It's the sea dungeon is definitely not to be underestimated a lot of times, especially with the encounter rates in this seed being pretty much right on the tag from what we had with the spring tournament. It's easy to run into a pack of them and then just get devastated in a matter of moments.
Oh, very true. Very, very true. Sorry, had to stop for a minute and bang my keyboard against something so that way I could get it to sort of actually work a bit better, because I hate, blinking in and out.
Yeah, that's understandable. Looks like Groggy is going to go translate their, at least look at selling those katanas. Well, considering there are no thieves in the party, that's understandable. Go ahead and take that dosh and translate the slab while they're doing it. So,
I mean, learn a language in under a second? I'll take that.
Sure. And I mean, also taking home $50,000 for your troubles, and that's definitely not to be sneezed at either.
So, I mean, and looks like Sci-Town dealing with some wizards, though able to get them down with just some fate. On Rob's side, actually taking advantage of that heal staff, which most people forget is actually kind of useful.
Yeah. That's one of those items, admittedly, that I don't use all that much when I run, but it can definitely be useful for saving you, because that'll save you the time of inputting some heal pots, and it's the sort of thing that it doesn't seem like it would be that big of a deal, but when you multiply it over the space of a run and you're looking at saving many different implementations of heal pot, then that saves time. It's a little bit of time, but it saves time.
Oh, guess what was the top slot of Gaia? For white
dear.
magic. Life 2.
I was gonna say that sounds like that's gonna be a bit of a boomer for how you set it up.
Oh! Exit was level 8 at Gaia, and Fast is level 8 too.
Oh no. So the movement spells seem to be very securely locked away this seed, which is unfortunate. Unfortunate for everybody, really.
And let's see what the fairy gives us today. She gives us some herbs.
Alright. Well, another obviously fetch quest item, which isn't the worst thing in the world, especially since, as you see, Sci-Town is just going ahead and flying. So take the quick way back to Elfland, which is definitely very smart. Knowledge of the map and being able to manage those directions. A trait that, admittedly, I'm still working on slightly as a relatively new runner, and I'm sure a lot of others are as well.
Ooh, and the cube. There's your sky access.
Yep. So now we have full access to the fourth major dungeon of the game, if you don't count Marsh as a major dungeon.
I mean, the dungeons that shall not be named. Also, Prince giving Sci-Town their GameCube for some drugs, sadly. But item and turn out. Ooh, power bonk. Bonk.
There you go. That's another of the 3 items that we see in the pool outside of your progression items and such. And it's interesting to note that the third one is a ribbon. So I don't think we found the actual, the incentivized ribbon yet, because we haven't had, I don't know if it would be a longer pause, but one of those things that you don't quite know exactly where it's going to be. From what we've seen, we know that it's not one of the loose items, but it's definitely in the runner's minds if they haven't found both those looses yet.
I mean, we do know where one of was. Was that a rune sword or a bane sword?
I think
there's a flame sword. I mean, if it was a rune, bane, and flame sword, that'd be kind of amusing on that one. But also, Sci-Town not having the tail yet can't take the time to promote at Cardia. Also, Life Reboot picking up their floater. Also, Life Reboot also being able to pick up their actual one free ribbon and smokable armor.
Yep. Oh, definitely good pickups all around, especially for parties. Since every party has a knight in it, then you certainly want to see something like the opal armor. The only thing you want to see more than that would be the dragon armor, but still. Alright, unfortunately, I don't think we got a hooray out of Life Reboot, so tisk tisk. Meanwhile, Rob Draven is off in the Agama floor of the volcano, and it looks like Groggy Dog is having some fun with some blue Ds, which, well, I mean, I guess he can keep that. Trying to find that grind tile and deciding it's not really worth the effort.
I mean, it is a thing. But looks like Groggy will be able to pick up their tail soon.
Yeah. And considering that they have the rod, obviously they can just go ahead and completely clear Earth Dungeon, which it makes sense since you're there. It's especially without any of the movement spells. It makes sense to just go ahead and go through the whole thing, take it out, get it in one fell swoop, and just go about your business.
Oh, too true, too true.
Oh, hello, Gold Bracelet.
Ooh, that is very good considering they rolled over 45k to get.
Yeah, no kidding. Take a free Gold Bracelet any day of the week, thank you very much. Alright, Life Reboot takes to the air at about 50 minutes.
Also, Rob Raver picking up their crown. So it looks like we'll see an orb lit soon enough on their side.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so we've got 4 runners in 4 different places, which makes any race nice and exciting, considering, of course, as we mentioned before, the routing decisions have split off, obviously, from being able to get a lot of the chime early on, for instance, sort of opening up a lot of these dungeons pretty quickly, at least the beginnings of them. And it's been interesting to see where the runners have gone. So it's good to see a lot of different strategies, especially for those of us who are ducklings, who are going to be running in the Duckling Derby this weekend. This seed is a prelude to the Duckling Derby Track 4, which is going to be the seed that we're running on Saturday night. And so it's nice to see some strategies just to kind of get a little bit of a taste of what's to come. Obviously, the seed Saturday night won't be exactly the same, but it'll be a preview.
Also, Quack for the Duckling Derby on that one, and
Quack quack.
Sighthound picking up their actual stuff as well.
Alright, so Life Reboot going to turn in the herb, and looks like Rob Draven has made it back over to Crescent Lake.
And Life Reboot getting their GameCube.
Yep. So, now time to fully invade Sky, should they so wish.
I might add that looks like Pro Rings were on sale for close to 30k in the Gaia defense shop.
Oh, yikes. That's a pretty hefty price tag for those, too. I mean, the prices as they were set in this seed were sort of the usual range of 30 to 350%, and unfortunately it looks like the 2 most coveted items, the Gold Bracelet and the Pro Ring, both ran on the much heavier side of that equation.
Sadly on that one.
Very sad.
But still, also looks like Sighthound getting their slab translated, and looks like Rob Drover selling that katana. Because of course he sold the katana out of the...
Yeah. And Life Reboot picked up their Sarda items, so just completing some of these quick turn-ins that you would typically do once you get the float, or you're going to go ahead and start checking off your incentive boxes, because, I mean, why wouldn't you at this point? Go ahead, because you get that 5% for each heat. and it will definitely assist in any future grinds that you have coming up.
I might add, we're close to 55 minutes in. Do you want to give a quick rundown for anybody that has joined us since the start of this race with what's going on and all of that?
Yeah, of course. This has been a pretty interesting seed. We've had, the runners did a lot of the same tracking early on, but then once they got out of the inner seed, then you started seeing a lot of divergence. We have found both of the loose items. We found the adamant at the top of, I believe, the top of the Agma floor, if I remember correctly. And we found the slab in the waterfall. So, the top of ice, sorry. But we have found both loose items, so we now know where they all are. We're just doing incentive checks, and you notice we have two who already have, well, excuse me, three runners that have orbs lit. And everybody is pretty much, it's generally been a pretty standard seed. There's not been anything super surprising. Those who took a white mage definitely have advantages because they got that early sweeper magic, whereas the black magic sweeper magic has not been quite so kind tonight, unfortunately.
I mean, they were all required to take a white mage since we had two forced classes in fighter and a white mage, so that is always nice to see on that one. Also, remember to follow our runners, Life Reboot, Groggy Dog, Sighttown, and Rob Drover, if you enjoy what you're seeing and enjoying this amazing race for all that stuff.
All right, Rob Draven picks up their TNT, and we know that now to be the chain to the floater, so they are going to be in the air pretty quickly. As Life Reboot is heading through the waterfall, and Sighttown is making their way, Sighttown and Groggy Dog are both making their way through Earth Dungeon, just on different levels so far.
Too true, too true.
Alright, so Rob Draven heads out of Northwest Castle without checking those spike tiles, which is interesting to maybe, you at least give them maybe a cursory look just to see what's available for a later grind, but Rob choosing not to, which is fine. I would usually check them myself, but it just depends on, I guess, where you feel you are level-wise and where you feel you are time-wise.
Very true, very true. Although, as for good endgame weapons, unless you got a thief, you're rocking the Vorpal right now.
Yeah, as far as promoted weaponry is concerned, certainly.
And Rob Drover picking up their floater, and looks like Sighttown picking up their tail.
Alright, so we are nicely caught up in regards to the incentive items. And it looks like Groggy Dog is heading back through Earth Cave. I admittedly was looking at some of the other screens. I didn't see if Groggy got wiped or decided to go ahead and... Oh, looks like they got wiped out or reset out because they're rechecking a lot of the chests.
Not sure on that one, but I do have to say, Sighttown, once they go to Ordeal,
looks like we weren't the only ones wondering about Groggy because Jad asking in chat, asking the same thing effectively. So, yeah, it looks like Groggy did wipe on something because they're grabbing those chests again. So that doesn't speak to just being able to exit out.
Also, we will probably see Sighttown after this Lit fight, probably going back and level and actually opting to class change.
Yeah, it makes sense at this point because you have two fiends down. You have, obviously, you've got the ability to travel around because you've got that floater in the airship. So, yeah, go ahead and do it. You're at mid-teens, so that's right about the point where your knight, and because Sighttown has a knight and a ninja incoming, that they would both be able to start getting those magic levels because they start earning them every odd level, beginning at level 15. So it definitely makes sense to go out and start amassing those magic levels, because we've seen that, especially with the level 2 fade for your knight, that can definitely pay dividends down the road.
Not just that, but Town has a thief, soon to be a ninja, and there was a certain weapon in the volcano.
Well, not just the volcano, because we've actually seen both of them, but yes, the katanas, those are going to be some very nice weapons to swing around at this point.
Oh, very, very true. It looks like Life Reboot is opting to check Sea Shrine.
Alright, so it looks like Life Reboot is heading deep into Onrak in the Sea Shrine, and I see Groggy just found some dragon armor in the bowels of Earth Cave.
Also, I just saw Side Town run away from some steak and wings.
Oh dear.
And
but that dragon armor is going to be...
Yeah, that dragon armor is huge on that one. It looks like Drover is also going to be picking up their loot.
Yep. As Groggy Dog takes on the Lich Fight, which we've already seen Town take down. So, should be, and is, a speed bump as the stream catches.
Also, looks like Town getting the crystal from those Oompa Loompas.
Well, another fetch quest item, which at this point I would imagine has to turn into the Mazamune. I can't think of much else that's really left.
The ribbon, and I don't think Masa's in the pool right now. So...
Okay, yeah, that's right. Apologies. I'm getting my spring tournament
right.
Okay.
I mean, Maza's Maza. Even so, looks like Town is. Did they turn in the bottle yet?
Well, it's hard to say exactly. Definitely checking that level 7 and 8 magic, which, well, yeah, X is good to have. Fast is good to have. Definitely spells worth going ahead and grabbing, although that fast is insanely expensive, though. Holy mackerel.
I mean, it's not that bad. You're hoping to maybe get at least one spell charge of that one, and if you do, that's going to be for Chaos. I mean, one spell...
Yeah, well, I'm just reacting kind of the sticker shock of that $60,000 price tag. Holy cow.
Oh, I agree. That is crazy. And Latoya gives us the ruby. Is Titan's Trove incentivized tonight?
I'm not certain. I didn't get the chance to check the flags, or check them that intensely. But we could pop that up real quick and find out. Or our tracker could tell us that it is indeed. So thank you for keeping our heads on straight.
Okay, then this will probably be the ribbon. Because I think we have seen everything else. Also feeding the Titan. Crunch, 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 munch, munch, munch.
Nom, nom. Oh, speaking of a ribbon.
Oh, Titan's Trove coming up huge tonight.
Wow,
so you want 2 free ribbons?
Yeah, it's not every day that you see 2 ribbons hiding out in the same sets of treasure chests. My goodness. So that will be a grand prize to have for any party. As on Life Reboot's side, we have a Kraken fight ongoing, some Lock 2 strats, wall defense, definitely getting all the party spells up and such, and trying to make sure that they are good to go as Kraken responds with Ice 2. Alright, let's...
Yep, some Fog 2 coming out. Let's see, Dark, so free turn. Some Power Bonk, some Nukes, some Floor Fog 2. sleep too. More nuke, and Kraken is down.
Alright, so Life Reboot takes down Kraken and gets second orb lit, gets the one of the obviously more challenging orbs, and is able to venture on from the dungeon and go forth from there.
Ooh, was that Bane? Must not have been. But also the loot pick up for Rob Drover on their side.
Well, definitely very necessary, and it's obviously a good thing. All the runners want to sort of breathe a sigh of relief getting that one out of the way, because then you know for a fact, if you haven't already found loose items, then you know for a fact that that is not a loose item that's going to plague you later on. So it's definitely good to see that in an incentive chest, that's for sure. Alright, so Life Reboot heading over to the Earth Cave and going for that third orb, while Psytown is heading into the Sea Shrine for their third orb.
Sorry about that. Had to literally pop my control button back on my keyboard. So as I said, smacking it to get it to work, and it's working now, I guess.
Nope. Wow.
Well,
That's a electronic war story there, having to reinsert a control.
Well, I mean, I kept pressing down on it. It kept giving me the on and off boop from Discord, and then just not, letting it off either way. But it works. At least for now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully it will continue to endeavor for you. As it looks like Rob Draven is checking a whole bunch of Cardia chests and finding, unfortunately, that NPC Guillotine is not a thing tonight.
Sadly, that's only been moved to the beta site. And I believe I don't know if we'd call it a joke or not, but I don't think we're going to see a site update for the main site for a couple more months.
Yeah. Well, that's understandable. Our devs are working very, very hard to implement all these features onto the sites, and it's definitely a testament to their ability and their wherewithal that they're able to get as much in this randomizer as they have, because there really is a lot to this game that can be randomized and tossed around. It's great to see, and it's definitely an encouragement, so certainly kudos to them.
I mean, I think that's sort of why we see a lot more runners that's choosing to use the beta site, because we have the public version, and then we have the one that, the entire community pretty much uses because it's like stable version. Also, Life Reboot finally picking up their tail.
And Groggy Dog grabbed that crown as the volcano incentivized item. So now it's off to the races for, well, just about all of our runners at this point.
Although I hate to say it, but Groggy is going to feel insanely behind once they realize that turned into the floater.
Yeah. And especially among the quality runners that we have on this stream tonight, whether they're on stream or streaming on their own. If you're an hour plus in, probably going to be about an hour 15 in by the time Groggy gets carried down and is able to get all those turn-ins in, then yeah, you're probably feeling behind at this point. So it'll be interesting to see how Groggy chooses to react to that.
And looks like Life Reboot will be our first on-stream runner to light their third orb.
So farewell to Lich.
I swear, every time I see, people sailing in the sea or flying in the sky, I feel like singing. And I know I'm not the only runner that does that.
Alright, as Life Reboot turns in and gets their slab translated, it's obviously going to be a pretty cool run over to Lefane to get that turn in. And I'll be interested to see how LR chooses to route it from there, whether they go to, okay, it looks like they're going to go turn in their tail and promote. And then I would suspect take care of a lot of the stuff up there just in one fell swoop, going to ordeals and, as we know, picking up that loot. And then turning in the slab. And it's obviously just a good idea to route all as much of one fell swoop as you can.
Very, very true. And Life Reboot having a thief, although level 1, makes you wonder, will they pop that thief up and get them some levels to get the hits, or just raise it and then just boop?
Well, that's a good question, and it looks like, of course, trading in the better fighter equipment, but Life Reboot is also going ahead and equipping that thief as well, so we may see some levels incoming, if nothing else, to be able to make that now ninja a little bit more effective.
Oh, too true, too true. And Groggy opting to skip the bridge boss. Oh, no, there we go. Oh, wait. Apparently I already saw it.
Yep. And it's worth mentioning that Sci-Town just took down Kraken and got that third, maybe got that third ord lit? Maybe Kraken bounced them, it's hard to tell. Picking up some spells. I saw Warp there at level 7 in on-rack, so definitely a good thing to go ahead and grab.
Oh, definitely. Also, neither of our runners that have 3 orbs have yet to be to ordeals to pick up their loot. Scratch that. Looks like Sci-Town is going to ordeals.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You're in the area, at least the relative areas. It's a good idea to just go ahead and take that turn, because just place it as a priority location, and while you're routing everything else out, go ahead and take care of it while you're in the region.
Oh, not just that, but this will not only put them in go mode, but most likely... Oh yeah, that's right, they do have the ruby, so they will have those 3 ribbons on that one. Although, it's going to be hard to tell whether or not some of our other runners will get those other 2 ribbons.
I mean, it really just depends, especially with a party of 2 mages, as all of our runners have. I mean, some of them have 3 mages. With a party of that many mages, then you're going to try to get as much ribbon protection as you can, because you want them to be able to see their way through just about anything, especially as expensive as we've seen, say, the pro rings to be. You want to try to get as much protection with this, frankly, little effort as you can.
Oh, too true, too true. And Life Reboot picking up their ruby. Still has yet to be 2 ordeals to pick up their loot, but we'll be picking up the 2 free ribbons in that one, and Groggy finally in the air. Going to go promote as well.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, this seed has really lined up very well for, in some sense, either of the 2 parties that we've seen, whether it is Fighter Thief, White-Black, or the Fighter Rainbow. Because the equipment's there, you obviously have the tail to promote, and they got it fairly early, so you wouldn't have to really worry about, oh, should I hold on to trying to get more levels before I promote? You just go ahead and do it, get all the benefits that all of those classes can get fairly early from promotion, and be able essentially to exercise it from there. So these items, the way they've schemed out tonight, have worked out very well, really, for both parties.
Very, very true. Very, very true. I have to say, so if you're Sci-Town or Life Reboot, you're just about to get the your go mode item. Do you check any more chests, or do you just hope that Vorpal Defense Sword and Katana are good enough? Since both of them do have thieves.
Yeah, I would say with the Katana, I think you'd be a little bit more comfortable than if it was just the Vorpal or just the Defense Sword. obviously a Excal or a Masamune for the fighter would, of course, be ideal. But it'll be interesting to see, especially if they feel like they're a little bit behind on these flags, then they may just go ahead and say, you know what, we can have the ninja as the main damage dealer, get some more, you get a handful of more levels or sort of a walking grind to get more hits on that katana and get more crit chance. And then, if you got fast, then be able to use fast, or temper obviously can go ahead and help out with that as well.
I mean, considering where fast rolled, you'll probably only get 1 to 2 shots of it.
Yeah.
But still.
Obviously, the power bracelet and temper can help out a great deal with that as well. So fast is not the be-all, end-all, but it certainly does help, just not really very much tonight.
I mean, it still is a thing.
Oh yes, just not much of a thing this time. And Life Reboot, unfortunately, finding out that Life Without Warp or Exit is, well, particularly at this point, Life Without Warp is a bad life, because those pillars in the Castle of Ordeals can be very painful if you don't have any way to get back fairly quickly.
Oh, not just that, but be thankful we have the actual Ordeals pillar fix. And we've had that since very early on, where if you warped too much, you could actually soft lock the game.
Oh dear. That's a problem. I was not really aware that was a thing, to be honest.
I mean, it's been fixed since, like, version 1.45 or something like that early, but it's always good to, like, just, bring it up anytime, as a be thankful you actually have warp on that one. And be thankful.
Yeah, I don't know how I would have reacted if I had gotten soft locked out of Ordeals for having to warp too much. That seems like a little bit of a capital offense, almost.
I mean, if everything that's happened with this and Groggy being on teams.
Hey, Team Steak is a good team to be on. Well, Steak and Wings, really. So, he's having himself a nice balanced diet tonight.
I mean, probably could just go for a beer or soda, pick your drink of choice, got some steak, got some wings, probably get Cheesinator in here to spare some cheese, and then you've got a good steak and cheese with some wings. It'd be nice.
Alright, so Life Reboot makes it out of Ordeals with their loot, so they are in go mode. And it looks like now all of our runners can play music, should they so wish. So that's definitely nice to see. Also, Rube's suggesting the adventures of life during warp time, which, well, I guess you could experience that anytime you watch, say, Doctor Who.
I mean, also, outdoor picking up their GameCube. So, technically, I'd say they could play some Guitar Hero, but that wasn't on the GameCube, sadly.
Oh well, that's unfortunate.
I mean, technically you could call it a Wii, since that did have it, and it had a built-in GameCube. And looks like Groggy is opting to check the chests in Temple of Fiends.
Interesting. Oh, because I see Tracker is showing us that they haven't picked up the Adamant yet, so I don't know that Groggy's been into Ice Cave.
I believe they did, but I don't know if they got...
Yeah, they just may not have made it out with any of the items. Or, from what I can tell, if they're checking those chests like that, they may not be aware that another loose item is hiding in Ice Cave.
More than likely, I could be wrong on that point, though.
Yeah, certainly. Well, I would presume, though, that's just what the evidence says to me, at least.
Oh, you're probably correct on that one. I do agree with you there. And it looks like we have Life Reboot as, alongside Saitown being our first few runners into Sky Sky Sky!
Yep, so obviously that's the last remaining orb. Warmech is in normal mode tonight, so the Bridge of Destiny could be the site of a very epic showdown, should the RNG gods so wish. Oh, we already see robot chickens appearing in chat, so oh boy. We shall see if either of these runners choose to take on the metal chicken.
Also, we're joined in chat by one of the legends and one of the, legends and one of the, OGs in the, community, Zardia. So, shout out to them for, being one of the OGs of the community.
Hey, anybody who shows us the robot chicken is a good somebody, although I will admit I tend to run from said chicken. Because I am a chicken, just not a robotic one.
And sadly, we don't have the old school Bless RNGs. Sadly, they took them away, but still.
Yep. Hey, I mean, the hype emote of your choice can still serve very well as a way of trying to encourage the metal overlord to appear upon us, grace us with its presence. So it looks like Life Reboot is going to be doing some chest checks. Meanwhile, Saitown is skipping down the Bridge of Destiny, and unfortunately, because of connection issues, we may... Well, I suspect we would probably see if Robot Chicken showed up, but right now, no Robot Chickens have made their appearance.
Also, it looks like Groggy picking up their double ribbons, and Life Reboot finding a Pro Cape.
That's a pretty good pickup as far as armor is concerned for those mages.
Too true, too true.
So it looks like on Saitown's side, we are not going to be seeing any robot chickens, it would appear. Now, Life Reboot is doing some greed checks, particularly in Sky 3, where obviously you have a lot of those items all piled up. So, Skip.
Oh, that is huge!
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, whoa! So, LR.
Yeah.
Going ahead and making a little bit of room for that white shirt, and obviously, of course, you're going to.
Oh, no doubt about it. It is huge on that one. It looks like Drover taking down their speed bump.
Alright, so we've got 3 orbs lit on Rob's side, and it'll be interesting to see, because they don't have the cube yet, so they'll have to make that pick up, and then I assume race for the Mirage Tower.
Yep, and Life Reboot finding the other heal helmet, a light axe. I have to say, I am always a fan of picking up the heal helmets, as you can get them on 2 characters. Free heal 2 is actually good once you can stack them.
Yeah. Again, it just sort of comes down to, especially in the later game, being able to manage those resources. Alright, so Groggy Dog picking up the adamant, that loose adamant in Ice Cave, and making their way through the metal slimes to pick up pick up everything else that's left in the Ice Cave. So, good on Groggy. They will be they'll be dashing away and taking care of their big issues pretty soon.
Yep, it looks like Saitown going back in for some levels. Oh, no, also the first floor check.
Yeah. Yeah, just checking all those chests on floor 1. I think Saitown went straight for the Fiend effectively, which is pretty smart. Just go ahead and get that orb lit and then go back for whatever you feel is necessary.
Oh, very, very true. We got another Bridge of Destiny. Also, it looks like Rob Drover actually went back and remembered to pick up Life 2. So we'll see if that actually helps out. And, yep, buying some fast!
Yeah, I mean, of course, you were mentioning earlier, fast is good no matter where you get it, even though that price tag still gives me the willies. But you definitely want to have that available, especially as you're getting into the very end when you're facing Gatekeeper Fiends and Chaos.
Oh, most definitely. Even just having a one-off on it is still useful. And we can tell Sighttown is buying that Knight some Fade. For some Fog 2, some Lock. Getting to see some Power Block. Some more temper on that Mint, on the Fighter. A Knight.
Well, the good news is it looks like Tiamat is not hitting terribly hard. Thunder, fortunately, not doing too much damage to the party. And so it looks like the strategy of you've got Fades and Nukes and having the Fighter and Ninja all buffed up, it looks like it'll eventually serve its purpose, although Life Reboot's Ninja may not make it through this, depending. And unfortunately, it doesn't look like that Ninja is going to make it, but the Fighter is all powered up and ready to go, and so it looks like, yeah, we're going to have some more Fates and Nukes, or Heal 3 from the White Mage, and then Nuke come out. And
also,
meanwhile, while
Sighttown, I was just about to say, it's our first runner into Topher.
Yeah. Meanwhile, while we were all paying attention to Life Reboot taking down Tiamat, Sighttown had sort of snuck in the back door of Topher.
Yep. Opting to burning off some actual encounters.
Yeah, that's definitely a good strategy, especially since these runners know that the encounter table has not been very friendly to them at the first few. So it's good to go ahead and get that through to going ahead and picking up magic and such, getting ready for a Topher dive. And Zardia pointing out that Sighttown was also a Z1R runner, as well as running this randomizer. It's always good to see people being able to cross over randomizer as well. I envy that ability because I don't particularly possess it myself. I've just got some skills in this one, and then I like to think I have skills in the others, and, well, yeah. I only have skills in my own mind.
I mean, the trick, at least from what I've learned, is to pick up a few skills for each one and pick and choose which ones you think you'd be good at. That's what I've learned. It'll make you look even better if you always choose, like, you know, the ones that you're to be good at.
Yeah. It looks like Life Reboot is choosing to go ahead and exploit that Blue D grind that obviously they found earlier. Not comfortable with the levels being in the early 20s, which I can understand, given that you've got the sort of wide open Fiend scaling. You never know if the Fiends in Topher are going to be a little bit lighter or if they're going to come a bit more on the heavy side. Meanwhile, it looks like Rob Draven is on the Bridge of Destiny, and we will see if we have a Warmech sighting on his side. We haven't seen Warmech yet. The Robot Chicken's been a little shy, but maybe they'll come out to play this time. Sadly, doesn't look like it. Oh well.
No,
so we've got 3.
I was going to say, it looks like Groggy's also entering, so we might see one from them.
Yep, we have one last hope. And that is Groggy Dog. Please, Groggy Dog, bring us our Lord and Savior, Metal Chicken.
I thought the Lord and Savior was supposed to be an Ammonite. God, what was its name again from Twitch Plays Pokemon?
I couldn't tell you. I never was a part of that, I'm afraid. I got into the Twitch game a bit too late for TPP.
Oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed it entirely on that one, but there's a lot of YouTube highlights from it.
Oh, yes, absolutely. And Shadowed Flames pointing out in chat that they run randomizers not for speed but for fun. That is perfectly fine. It's obviously we have these races on different platforms, and if you want to be a racer, if you want to try to go fast, you're more than welcome to join any of the Discords. Obviously, Final Fantasy Randomizer has one. You're more than welcome to join that. You can join it, though, even if you just want to run it for fun, because randomizers are supposed to be fun. And if you want to race it for fun and just enjoyment rather than feeling like you've got to rush around everywhere, that is absolutely valid, and we would definitely encourage folks to take part. No matter why they want to play a randomizer, join our communities. We'll help you get better at it, and we'll help each other enjoy it, and probably rag each other at times. But it's all in good fun, and we want it to definitely stay that way. So Life Reboot is our second runner to enter into Temple of Fiends Revisited at about 1 hour 30, just under 1 hour 30. And let's see, checking Psytown's progress here as they are healing up. I assume getting ready for, they're getting ready for their Lich refight. Alright, so it looks like on the Lich 2 side, we have the Fighter and Ninja swinging. We have nukes from the Black Mage, which take down the speed bump. And Psytown is on to the carry floor, whereas Life Reboot is about to make their way onto the Lich floor. Alright, so Groggy Dog about to ascend up to the top of the Sky Cave, and Rob Draven heading back into Ice Cave as Psytown takes on the second carry fight and is going to be looking like they're going to be making a few decisions as far as strategies, whether to temper the Fighter and Ninja or to using Ice too, interestingly. Carry coming out with a nuclear, which sadly takes down that Black Mage, so if they wanted to use Fast is now permanently slowed, at least for this fight, until they can get picked back up by that White Mage. But fortunately, some really good hits from the Fighter and a fade from the White Mage takes down Carry 2, and the White Mage can now promptly bring back the Black Mage and get that offense back there. And Gregly Puff joining us, asking if anybody's finished offline yet. No, we have had no finishers yet. Although chat points out that Bert is also in Temple of Fiends Revisited, so looks like we may very well have ourselves a photo finish between our on-stream and off-stream runners. As Groggy Dog heads down the Bridge of Destiny and is giving us our last opportunity for our chicken to grace us with his presence. It's not looking good for Robot Chicken so far, and sadly, it looks like we are 0 for 4 in the Robot Chicken sweepstakes. So, sorry, chat, we cannot provide you with your Lord and Savior tonight. So, Groggy Dog taking on the Tiamat fight, and unfortunately, the Black Mage is down for the count, but we have Fighter swinging, we have Lock 2 strats, and now Nuke from the Red Mage. We have obviously Fade from the White Mage to try to get that good magic damage in. Fighter hitting for relatively decent damage, a little under 200 for those hits. The Nuke getting a really good roll from the Red Mage, so that's definitely good to see. And so the Nuke again coming out from the Red Mage, and the Fighter getting just under 100 damage, but taking down Tiamat as Groggy Dog lights the air orb and makes their way out of Tiamat's dungeon. Meanwhile, Sci-Town is in the process of making their way around the seafloor to get to the Kraken refight. So it's definitely some pretty spirited competition going on here between on-stream and off-stream. It's going to be close. It's going to be fun. That, of course, is obviously part of the fun of this randomizer. And it looks like we have a dual Fiend fight here as Sci-Town takes on Kraken 2 and Life Reboot takes on Lich 2. So we have looks like on Life Reboot's side, they're just going to physically attack, with Lich trying to rub out the competition, and it doesn't work. Meanwhile, Sci-Town is, oh dear, watching the ninja go down, employing the strong fighter, Fade on the white mage, and using straight out regular lock on Kraken, which is good news because lock obviously hits a single target, Kraken's a single target, so why not go ahead and take advantage of that? With a final fade to the face, Kraken 2 goes down, and Sci-Town is able to make their way to the Tia 2 refight. Or at least make their way that direction anyhow. Alright, so meanwhile, Groggy Dog looks like Groggy Dog is heading to check the Sharknado floor on the way to take down take down Kraken. And Big Stop asking what the blue orb is under the floater. That would be Matoya's crit. And looks like not all the runners have it, but it wasn't completely necessary for this run. It gave us one of the optional items, but not one of the key items, fortunately. So it wasn't wholly necessary. As Sci-Town is taking on the Tia 2 refight, the Tia 2 refight. Life Reboot is about to take on the Carry 2 refight. And Tia 2 coming out with Tornado, which doesn't take down any of the party members. Fortunately, they all have the levels and the wherewithal to be able to stand up to that. So, good on them.
Life Reboot getting hit by the nuclear. Pulling extra power, though. Also, Thor Hammer coming out. Some Nuke coming out. For a bit, fighting, some Fade, some more Nuke. Will Tiamat get them down?
Very good roll on that last Nuke, at least.
Yep. Sorry you couldn't hear me for a bit. Apparently I had my microphone muted.
Oh dear. That's unfortunate. It sounds like technology and you are not the best of friends tonight.
I mean, we are. It just has those times where it's just like, it doesn't want to be nice on that one. However, it always just adds some humor to the runs.
Oh,
especially when you're actually watching. So, having fun, and hopefully chat can enjoy the misadventures of maybe.
Oh, looks like we have sights. Oh, yes. We are very much enjoying it, and I hope all of you guys are too. As
we got a chaos fight.
Yep. Looks like Sci-Town is going to be tempering the fighter using the Thor Hammer with the White Mage. So definitely working on defense on the fighter. So making sure to go ahead and get those good stacks of defense on. And we have, looks like more temper on the fighter, heal 3 from the White Mage. And temper on the fighter, and a defense sword. So definitely making sure that Chaos can't do anything nasty to our fighters tonight.
Opting even for a Cure 4 on that one. Stun coming off from Chaos. Ineffective, 5 hits, 200 some damage. I think it was 222. Swinging again, 4 hits. Was that 813 damage? I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, considering that fighter is nice and tempered up with a good sword, yeah, it's definitely understandable.
Swinging again, 4 hits, 460, and GG's the Sighttown Terminating Chaos! You want to say the official SRL time?
Absolutely. Sighttown, well, interestingly enough, Sighttown finished in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hours 38:16, and Burt Reynolds finished in second place off stream with a time of 1 hours 38:22. So 6 seconds of difference between our runners tonight.
GG to the pair of them. That was
absolutely
insanely close race in SRL tonight. Also, it looks like Groggy is joining. Looks like Groggy is joining other runners in the Temple of Fiends. Do you want to see about pulling Sighttown in here if they will want to join us?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, I assume the bot invite should be coming in shortly, so we'll see if we can get ourselves chatting with them in relatively quick succession, as we have Rob Draven taking on their Lich refight and Life Reboot taking on their Tia refight. So we may have ourselves a third runner playing patty cakes with Chaos very, very soon. Burt Reynolds mentioning in chat that he got Cure Forward and Nucleared, which, holy moly, that's a rough Chaos to run up against.
Makes you wonder how far in the spells were on that one, but looks like Life Reboot taking down Tia 2 quite well. Some Lit 3 coming out, some waiting, some Lit 3. Ink coming out, so free turn. Tiamat offering some stop, but looks like the party's saying go. Firebomb coming out, swings and some weights. Swing for 4 hits, could not see the damage. Blizzard coming out from Tia.
I think it was 4 hits, 226.
Yeah, pretty sure because it was a 172 after that one. Fade coming out, but that Black Mage goes down. Opting for some more Fade for 128. Swinging 33 damage. Ew, this is not a good TF fight for Life Reboot. Tornado coming out.
Yeah, it looks like LR is getting the bad side of some of these spell rolls, but fortunately is able to take down Tia 2, and so with some well-placed healing, everybody can be back up off the carpet and hopefully ready to go for the Chaos fight. Meanwhile, Rob Draven has made their way onto the seafloor, heading on to the Kraken 2 fight, and Groggy Dog is heading over to have a chat with a renewed Lich.
Good evenings, Ital. Thanks for joining us here in the booth. What do you think of the seed so far, and what did you think of it all?
Oh, hey, I think I just missed something. Did you ask a question? I'm sorry.
I was saying GG's, and what do you think of the seed overall?
This is one of the fastest Duck 4 seeds I've seen so far. Normally I'm in the 150 range, but it felt... I got really lucky in Topher, though. That's all I can say. I got really lucky, but it definitely worked out.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw in SRL, but you finished 6 seconds ahead of Burt Reynolds. How does it feel to come sliding into the finish line with somebody else coming in right on your heel?
It's always a good feeling when you're the first one in. It's never a good feeling when you're number 2, though. I play a lot of Zelda Randomizer, and I've lost by 1 second and 2 seconds quite a few times, so never fun.
Oh my heavens. Oh heavens, that sounds brutal.
I mean, we also heard that apparently Chaos had Cure Forward a spell list. I don't know how deep it is, but still. Oh, and according to Burt Reynolds,
Yeah,
apparently I soloed 2 Warmax too.
Holy cow! Yeah, I never saw Warmac. I got lucky there. That and okay. So I know I missed it, but where was the regular life spell at?
God,
Yeah, let me.
it was
let me
one of the
check
earlier
notes and
levels,
see.
I think.
Yeah, I'm seeing for, let's see, for the spells, I'm seeing precisely where life was. I see life 2, but I don't see life 1 listed here. So, but Cat's mentioning at level 4. Okay, yeah, I see it now. It was kind of hiding there on the list. Apologies.
Okay, so yeah, I completely missed it on my first go round with Elfland. So
Also,
I kept thinking,
GG's
like,
Life Reboot.
oh yeah, heck yeah. But
Oh,
I only had 2 life spells, and they were both life 2, obviously. But going into Topher, which I'm normally kind of a grin and bear it, run at 'em kind of guy, but it worked out this time. I got lucky.
also, it looks like we're
Hey.
being joined by our second on-stream, or our second on-stream Water to Finish Life Reboot. GG's to you as well.
Hello, GG.
GG life reboot.
Thanks, Town. GG.
So, what did you two think of this seed?
Pretty fast for me on these flags, actually. I've been averaging about 2 hours, but it felt pretty good. And that I found, and that kind of gave me the confidence to dive Volcano and Ice without issue.
You decided to grind on what? Blue Keys, if I recall, in the Hall of Giants?
That's correct, yes, the Blue Dragon.
Nice. I never did it. The only place I did any grinding. Boy, where did I do any at? I don't think I did any.
I do have to say, we did find a nice tile in the Volcano thanks to Rob Drover, and sadly it looks like it took a wipe. But yeah, there was an Expedia tile in the Volcano. In fact, the very first encounter tile you could check there.
I did kill some enemies around Melman at the beginning just to get enough money for the key to run back to Canaria, but other than that, I don't think I did this whole seed. I was running into Topher at like 19 and 20, and I think my mages might have been at 22, and yeah, that was crazy.
I want to mention also as a bit of a side note, Guelph35 finishing in 3rd place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 43:32. So GG to Guelph. He was one of our off-stream runners. So I just wanted to go ahead and give credit where credit was.
I just want to say thank you to everybody who restreamed and you folks for doing the commentary and tracking. I'm going to step aside. My wife is asking me to help out with something, so I'm going to let you guys go, but thank you very much. I appreciate it.
GG Sci-Town, thanks for joining us.
So I gotta ask, overall, what were your impressions of this flag set? Have you done a lot of practice for the Duckling Derby? Are you planning to be in the one this weekend?
Yes, so I am planning on racing this weekend, looking forward to it. I have not practiced track 3, which is floor and entrance shuffle, very much, but I feel like that is something that I played a lot with already. It's just taking good note. This flag set I've been practicing more, and I think that's because it is more based on improvisation, your ability to improvise with the 2 forced characters, and then you know what is around the world, because there's a lot of incentive locations.
I mean, what did you think of having to deal with forced characters? I'm an old school fan of everybody should have to deal with them.
I like it very much, actually. In certain seeds, like I'll get assigned a black belt, and then maybe I decide to take a fighter and kill off my black belt, similar to what I did here with killing off my running the 3-man strat. But it's kind of interesting. I think it is very generous the way that, since it's a duckling flag set, that it is a forced character that is melee, and then a forced character that is a main. So that's a little bit generous. You're not going to get a duplicate. I actually think that it's interesting when you do get duplicates, because then, again, the improvisation comes into play.
I 100% agree with you on that one. So, walk us through your thought process after killing Garland and immediately getting the ship and the canal.
Sure. So you have a lot of options for walking around the world. I don't remember if it was Oxiale or what else came up early. I guess we found the canoe over in Crescent Lake or something.
It was Vanilla Canoe and Oxiale from Dinky.
Understood. So yeah, you have the option of diving sea, diving waterfall. I like to stick with if I'm low characters and I have a few decent AoE spells, but in this particular flag set, there's a lot of encounters. The encounters is very high, and the experience bonus is relatively low. So with that in mind, I decided to look for the grind tile on Earth, and that paid off for me.
Again, knowing grind tile locations is always important.
What party did Scytown pick? Just out of curiosity.
You both
Same
had
as
the
you.
same party.
I see.
Yeah, you and Scytown both had Fighter Thief, and both Groggy and Rob Draven went Fighter Rainbow.
Thank you.
So it was interesting to see two different parties, but obviously similar to the way that two runners running one party, two runners running another party. And you were mentioning also having a lot of the locations open really made it interesting around midway through the race, because you guys were going 4 different places at once. And that's always fun to see as somebody who is in the audience, just to see what decisions you guys make and kind of dig into mindsets as to why one would decide to go one direction and not another. All right, as Groggy Dog takes on the carry refight, I'll mention that DBS has finished in 5th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 51:23. So GG DBS, congrats on the 5th place finish. And we have ourselves some Fiend refights going on, so joy for both Groggy and Rob Draven at the moment.
I do have to ask you, Life, what were your thoughts on having at most Sunsword, Vorpal, and a Katana as far as weapons go?
Yeah, I kind of gambled. I needed some money, and I sold my Vorpal really early. But I did not turn up a X-Cal or a Mass Immune, so I don't really love the Vorpal, if I'm being honest. I feel that might have slowed me down at the end, but I was betting that I'm still going to open some chests along the way. There's a chance I can find a redemption sword. But with the Katana, and planning on reviving the Thief before the Temple of Fiends Revisited, I felt like it was still just fine. Like, even if I never found anything, I would have some damage on that additional melee.
Well, that is true. That is true.
Alright, so it looks like Rob Draven is on their way to the Chaos fight. They've made it past all the 4 Refiends, so we should be seeing another, if they can ever get to the stairs, that is. We should be seeing another Chaos fight in the offing very, very soon. Oh my heavens, if they can make them to the stairs, these enemies just will not let them go.
I mean, enemies are enemies. Sometimes it's just amusing and annoying as well.
Yeah. Well, finally, Rob Draven did make it down to Chaos as Groggy Dog is going for the second Tia fight, or Kraken fight rather, but unfortunately has lost both red and white mages, so it is... Oh dear, and now goes
no.
Mage. Oh, that's bad. Kraken doing Kraken things tonight, unfortunately. Yeah, Guelph mentioning where the Adamant was. Adamant actually was on the left-hand chest in the same room as the incentivized chest. It was actually the left hand of those, so it was pretty close to the incentivized chest, just close enough to tease you, but not quite. Alright, so Rob Draven is taking on the Chaos fight, going with heal 3 from the White Mage to get everybody up, ready. Defense sword on the fighter to get them as dodgy as possible. The White Mage and Red Mage are promptly in the 1 and 2 slots to do a little bit of damage absorption, as Draven is stacking all the cards behind powering and tempering up the fighter. Nuclear comes across, takes down the Red and Black Mage, as heal 3 comes out from the White Mage. So we have 2 party members left. We'll see if Draven's fighter... Oh, 1 party member left now. We'll see if Draven's fighter is strong enough to pull this off. Stun misses. Wow. Over 1,000 damage from the fighter on that swing.
But gets it down. Gets it done.
1454. Holy crap. So GG Rob Draven finishing in 6th place with an official SRL time of 1 hour 54:41. So GG Rob Draven.
And on Groggy's side, down to just the fighter. However, does have the actual white, does have the power bonk, so could try to get the stun. They don't have life, thanks to it being level 4, and fighter, knight stopping learning magic at level 3. Sad.
Oh, Groggy is definitely giving it their best to try to stay upright, so holy mackerel. But that Tia fight, unfortunately, is just giving Groggy the bit. Ice 3, fighters continuing to swing, Tia misses, fighter continues to swing, and another miss from Tia.
This is going to be rough.
Yeah, absolutely. And chat pointing out that slow 2 hit on the fighter, which is definitely some very bad news. But definitely props to Groggy Dog for trying to stick this fight out, and is getting seemingly close to taking Tia down, but unfortunately it looks like Lit 2 took down Groggy Dog's party, and Groggy has officially forfeited from the race. So GG to all of our runners. And it was a well-fought match from everybody. We had a couple of very close finishes, one with 6 seconds off, and another one was 19 seconds off, if I read the times correctly. So this was some very close racing from everybody. So GG to everyone, and definitely for runners who are either on stream or off stream, thank you very much. It was a fantastic time from all of you.
Too true, too true. Remember, everybody, if you enjoyed what you saw, don't forget to follow our runners, Life Improved, Groggy Dog, Sighttown, and Drover. Also, remember to follow Speed Gaming if you guys enjoyed this, and check out the Discord. I mean, we're not wrapping us all up, but I figured I'd throw it in there for now.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember also our runners who were not on stream tonight. Burt Reynolds and DBS and Guelph were all off-stream runners, but they were all participating as well. So they deserve just as much love as the folks who chose to be restreamed tonight. So definitely make sure to go and check out all of them if you can. All right, and we will see if any of our later finishing runners are going to join us in the Speed Gaming chat, and then we, of course, will take it from there. So, yeah, I will go ahead and say thank you to our wonderful tracker, Japs2980, who kept us and all our heads on straight the whole time. Obviously, thanks to the speed gaming community for allowing us to race here tonight and to host us and take care of all the fancy technical stuff, because holy moly, I could not begin to do it, so I definitely respect those who can. We are currently inquiring to see if either Rob Draven or Groggy Dog are going to join us for post-race interviews. And once we get answers from either of them, we will, if they choose to speak with us, that's great. If not, it's perfectly understandable given this lovely seed. And all right, so we will.
So I do have to say,
find that answer.
It was a fun seed to watch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It looks like we're going to have Rob Draven in here shortly for a post-race interview, so we're definitely looking forward to it. So, Magius, overall, what did you think of this seed in the grand scheme of things as we are polishing things off for all of our runners?
I'd say it was an interesting seed. A lot of open world, a lot of very early mobility with the canal and the ship basically turning up right after Garland. A lot of exploration and, just a lot of early game checks you could do. And just like, no one had to go into the dungeon that shall not be named. And watch it have Massa there.
Oh, of course, yeah. We did not see Massa anywhere in the seed. I had to look back at the notes, and we did not see. I don't think we saw either Excal or Massa. So, yeah, that definitely made life a little more difficult for those fighters. All right, looks like we are now joined in the chat by Rob Draven. GG, Rob, congratulations, and thanks for running the seed. I was going to say, I see you lit up, but I didn't hear you say very much, so you may want to repeat that.
Yeah, it happens when I'm on mute, so yeah, GG, everybody. That was definitely a C.
Oh, very true, very true.
All right, so what were your thoughts on the seed? You said it's quite the seed, so kind of what are your general thoughts overall as this evening winds to a close?
Really, like, the seed really wasn't, like, the encounters were kind of stunk, but too bad up until I got to Topher, and then trying to man mode after Tiamat was just, yeah.
Yeah,
the
the
second...
Go ahead. I was just going to say, this was definitely one of those cases where Lich 2 and Carry 2 weren't too bad, but then Kraken 2 and Tia 2 were definitely playing their assigned roles as gatekeepers. And the rest of you were able to get through it. Unfortunately, Groggy Dog just kind of got slugged upside a wall and left for dead. So,
yeah, that was a little rough to watch because I right after I got done, I jumped on to just kind of catch the end of that. That kind of sucked for Groggy.
Yeah,
I mean, that Tiamat, it wasn't playing around.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't. It was hitting all of you hard, but unfortunately, Groggy just got hit in the wrong party members got hit in the face at the wrong times, and I think it unfortunately just cascaded on him. So, and Groggy choosing to not partake of the post-race interview, which is definitely understandable. Just wanted to say GG to Groggy as well, as we are in the process of wrapping things.
Yep, GG to Groggy for trying, and GG to the other guys that ran. I mean, Sci-Town, Life Reboot. You guys played really well.
Rob.
Yeah, I thought that, like, seriously, going into Topher, I thought, oh man, I had a chance to win, and then boom, 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 boom. Everybody else wins.
Yeah, did you check the time intervals on some of those?
Yeah, I have SRL up on the side, and I was like, I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm going good, get to Lich, and then I look over and I see, it was Cytown and Bert who just one right after the other, 6 seconds between the two. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, well, we had a host of good runners on tonight, so it was a great show from all of you. And definitely props, especially when that Temple of Fiends Revisited started being a royal pain in the tuchus toward the end. It was definitely props on you guys for being able to push through, and for Groggy for definitely giving us an object lesson in perseverance in trying to man mode Tiamat with I believe Groggy I think Groggy had a sun sword the whole time. Wasn't able to find anything else, so that's definitely
still had a sun sword. You are right. Although did have a vorpal, but
chose to use the power of the sun.
I mean the power of sun with the palm of your hands.
All right, so we of course have the Duckling Derby coming up, days 3 and 4 coming up this weekend. So are you guys looking forward to that? Are y'all both going to be running the Duckling Derby, or are you guys going to be spectators?
I am running the Duckling Derby and looking forward to it. I did happen to place first in the track 1, but that was just luck. Everyone ran into a lot of opposition in the alternate boss, that first flag set, and I just happened to slip through.
I mean, it did at least teach a few of you to remember Harm 4.
Yeah, that was part of the reason why I bought it in this one.
Hey, I was going to say, the only stupid man is the man who doesn't learn from his mistakes.
That is true. And Harm 4 is one of those spells, it's like, if you see it, and it's at an earlier level and you can afford the slot, pick it up. Might not have helped you this time, but when you need it, you learn to grab it.
Exactly. And I can't wait to run this weekend as well in the Derby. Hopefully I'll be able to make Game 3, but if not, I'll definitely be making Race 4.
Well, absolutely. We're looking forward to it. I will be running it as well, and I will mention that those races are going to be coming up. The Track 3 is going to be coming up tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern, and Track 4 will be coming up Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. So hopefully everybody will be able to join in for both of those and watch a whole bunch of us new quackers try to shuffle our way through a couple of some very interesting seeds, as we have seen in the weekly races this week.
Entrance and floor shuffle. Good luck to you all. And remember to take lots of notes. Don't be like me and actually try to use everything that is between your head for remembering everything. It doesn't work well sometimes.
You can say that again, buddy.
Yeah, I've definitely had to learn the value of good note-taking very much for floor entrance randomizer, so absolutely, I will back that up 100%. So I would say, let's see, go ahead and have final thoughts if either of you wish. Life Reboot, do you have anything to say as far as final thoughts go?
Yeah, where was Fast?
Fast was level 8.
Slot 1.
Yep.
Okay.
Gaia.
Yep.
I missed it. I missed it a lot, especially in Topher. But I decided to grind, and then I was like, well, I'm sure people are already in Topher. I'm just gonna go for it. I feel like I got penalized, especially on Chaos. But oh well. Thanks very much to the community for all the volunteers, race crew that makes this all possible. And if you're watching this and you are not a part of the community, I joined back in November, and I'm already getting relatively good. I'm very excited that I'm a competitor in this Duckling Derby, and everyone in the community is very friendly, very helpful, and has been able to get better and better. So join up if you like what you see.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Life Reboot. Rob, do you have anything you'd like to say as far as final thought?
No, just really, I gotta agree with Life Reboot on this. That really, this community is really friendly. I mean, I joined 3 weeks into the boot camp for this year, and I picked up the game pretty quickly, and everything. So yeah, come on by the Discord. I mean, everybody's helpful. You want to check some stuff out? Come check it out. Just like really, this game's a lot of fun, and the community is great. So come join us. And if you don't want to join us, at least come watch the Duckling Derby this weekend. You've got some really good people playing in it. So we'd love to have you out.
Absolutely, we definitely would. So thank you to Life Reboot and Rob Draven for joining us for interviews. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to Jat, who helped with the tracking, and to my co-com Magius, to all the folks at Speed Gaming for letting us raid their channel tonight and essentially make a mess on the couches and the carpet. We'll try to clean up after we finish. But
I was going to say, Fiesel is a fan of Final Fantasy 1, and in fact, at one point I think it was third for a single segment. Not positive on that one still, but he does love their Final Fantasy.
Well, that's always nice. It's good to see, of course. So, Magius, do you want to go ahead and take us out for the evening?
Sure. Until the next time loop where we have to go relight some crystals and orbs, from me, Karat, Jat, all of our runners, and the entire community, good all.